Hello writers, this is Dr. Amanda with USCA's Writing Center. Today's workshop is on the Writing Proficiency Portfolio, and it should help you answer some who, what, when, where, why, and how questions. Let's start with who. Who has to submit a WPP? Well, no one. No one has to submit a Writing Proficiency Portfolio. But as a USCA student, you do have the option of submitting a WPP. The WPP is an opportunity for you to prove your writing skills to the university. If a student submits and passes the WPP with 3.0 or better, then they do not need to take English 201, writing in the university. Passing English 201 or the WPP is a requirement for graduation at USCA. What if you're an online student though? Well, it's okay. If you're part of one of USCA's online-only programs, you have two options. You may either submit and pass the WPP online through Blackboard, or you may take an online English 201 writing in the university course to satisfy the graduation requirements. Both of these options will allow you to progress. Let's get back to the what's. What is the WPP? The WPP is a collection of 3 course-related examples of your strongest writing with a reflective cover essay. The main essays in the WPP are not new pieces of writing. They come from courses you've taken at USCA or elsewhere. Essays written at other universities are always acceptable, so if you're a transfer student, don't worry. You can select essays from other universities. The only new writing required for the WPP is a reflective cover essay. It is a, on average, 1 to 3 page essay that provides information about the work you've included and explains why you've included it. It may also comment upon the kinds of writing you've done at the college level. We actually have an entire workshop devoted to the WPP reflective cover essay. Look for it on our website at usca.edu/writing-center or on our YouTube webpage. The WPP must be submitted through the Writing Proficiency Blackboard page for WPP submission if you are an online student. There are currently no charges for submitting your WPP online. So what kinds of papers are required? Well, all papers must be course-related, but they do not have to have been completed at USCA. Transfer papers are always acceptable. At least one paper must have a significant research component. The paper can be in any citation style, but what we mean by significant research is that a paper should include at least 3 academic sources or more. Only one paper can come from an introductory composition class. At USCA, introductory composition classes are English 101 and English 102. At other schools, it would be the equivalent of those courses. If you want more information about choosing papers, please see Tips for Choosing Papers on the Writing Center's website at usca.edu/writing-center. So what should you choose? We suggest selecting what you feel is your strongest work. Although only one paper with significant research is required, we suggest submitting more than one paper of this type. Remember, a paper with significant research is any paper that includes at least 3 academic sources. We suggest that the papers you choose are documented correctly according to a specific citation style. And please let us know what style you're using in the reflective cover essay. Papers written for writing-intensive courses or WI courses are often really good choices. Please let us know if a paper you're including in the portfolio comes from a WI course. So what shouldn't you choose? Don't choose papers or essays that are collaborative. We're evaluating your individual work, so group work doesn't really fit this situation. Don't choose papers or essays in a language other than English. Although it's great that you might be able to write a paper and essay in another language, we need this one to be in English. Don't choose papers or essays that follow a strict business template. Things like resumes and memos, it's great that you know how to write those, but a lot of those have very strict patterns that you're following, so we want to see some of your creativity and organizational skills. Don't lecture notes, journal entries, annotated bibliographies, or computer programs. Try not to submit more than one paper from the same course. It isn't against the rules, but it really isn't recommended, and the reason is we want to see a range of your work across courses. A lot of times we're asked if there's an alternative to the WPP. Yeah, it's English 201. Remember that you're not required to submit a WPP, but you are required to pass English 201 with a C or better. The WPP is not required, but if you pass it, then you satisfy the requirement for English 201. So you're going to have to decide, WPP or 201. If you're interested in more information, you can take a look at the Is the English 201 a Better Option for Me document on the Writing Center's website. When do you submit the portfolio? Well, ideally, you submit the portfolio during your junior year, once you have a minimum of 60 credit hours. It's at that point in your college career that you're starting to enter some of your upper level classes within your discipline, and we want to make sure that you're ready for those classes when it comes to your writing. Do not wait until your final semester. Remember that the WPP needs to be submitted and graded before you can submit your graduation application. There are some deadlines for the WPP. The summer deadline is the first Wednesday in June. Fall deadline is the first Wednesday after Labor Day. And in spring, it's the last Wednesday in January. So how is the WPP graded? Every WPP is independently evaluated by 2 faculty graders. The graders score the WPP in 7 categories using a 1 to 5 scale. Scores from both readers are averaged together to determine the overall score. An overall score of at least 3 points is required to pass the WPP. Here are our grading categories. We score your essay from 1 to 5 in each of these areas: clarity of purpose, quality of thought, effective organization of content, synthesis and integration of sources, attribution and documentation of sources, language and style, and grammar and mechanics. What happens if you pass the WPP? Well, you and your advisor get a letter stating that you have met the English 201 WPP graduation requirement. What happens if you don't pass it? Well, it's not the end of the world. Students who score 3.0 have passed the WPP. If your score is below the 2.39 benchmark, then you're required to enroll in and pass English 201 with a C or better to satisfy your graduation requirement. But if your score is only slightly below the 3.0 benchmark, between 2.39 and 2.99, then you have an opportunity to revise and resubmit your WPP for reconsideration by an additional reader. This is only after speaking with the Writing Assessment Director, Dr. Miller. Students who do not pass the resubmission with a 3.0 must take English 201 and pass it with a C or better. So what's that reflective cover essay about again? Well, it provides context for your work and lets the graders know what was expected or required for the writing you're submitting. It sets the tone for your WPP. It really does matter. This is the first bit of writing that the graders see. So it creates a first impression. It needs to be at least 3 paragraphs long, because every essay needs to be at least 3 paragraphs long, but I actually suggest 5 paragraphs. Organizing the reflective cover essay is actually really easy. In your introduction, maybe mention things like the year, your class standing, your major, whether or not you're a transfer student, and include the titles of the papers and from what courses you're submitting. When you talk about each of your essays, give the title of the paper, the professor, the course name, semester, a summary of the assignment, any sort of unusual or odd requirements for the assignment, list your documentation style, and tell us why you chose it. Do that for each of the essays. In your conclusion, wrap things up. Mention your progress as a writer. Mention any improvement you feel you've made in writing. And look forward, mentioning where and how your writing will be important in your career, your upper level classes, or your life. Many of us have heard that you should never use the word I in an academic paper. Well, reflective cover essays are very different. So, this is about you and your writing, but please feel free to use first-person pronouns in this paper. If there are other papers in the WPP that allow for first-person pronoun use, I would tell the readers that in the body paragraph. Since we're talking about pronouns, you may also want to mention whether or not you use single they in your papers. This is actually encouraged in APA style. In fact, mention anything you think the person reading your essay might want to know about your paper so that they can grade it fairly and precisely. There are ways you can improve your chances for a passing grade. The first way is to revise. Don't just turn a paper in because you received an A on it in a class 2 years ago. Take a second, look at it, and make some improvements. If you'd like some help with revision, you can contact the Writing Center and get a WPP consultation. For an appointment, you can email writingroom@usca.edu. Work on your reflective cover essay. Again, this is the first bit of writing that we read while we're scoring things. You can get some help with a reflective cover essay from the Writing Center, again, through a WPP consultation. You also want to double check your citations, particularly your in-text citations, making sure that you're not omitting anything or making errors. You also might want to read your paper out loud to look and listen for errors. It slows us down and allows us to see mistakes that we don't see just by reading on the page. So how do you set up an online Writing Center consultation? You can email us at writingroom@usca.edu. Or, in a normal semester, please call us at 803-641-3262. Let us know that you would like help with the WPP or a different writing project if you'd like. Let us know what days and times you're available. The Writing Center is open in the fall and spring from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday. Summer hours are 12 to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. If you are a Palmetto College, RN to BSN, South Aiken, or Union Aiken student, you can request an evening or weekend appointment, but please keep your time. Our trained consultants are students at USCA and have their own schoolwork to attend to. So if you can't keep an appointment, please let us know ASAP. In order to have a successful online consultation with the Writing Center, you need access to Blackboard. We'll send you emailed instructions on how to connect to your consultation session and how to upload your work. You need a computer with a microphone and stable internet connection. If you don't have a microphone, you may use your phone for audio. You'll be given instructions on how to do that. Remember, the WPP is your chance to prove your skill at academic writing. The WPP is an option, not a requirement. It does have some deadlines. It does require a reflective cover essay and 3 course-based papers. One of those papers must be a research-based paper with significant research. You may only include one paper from either English 101 or 102, not from both. You should be submitting the WPP before your last semester, preferably during your junior year. And the WPP is free to submit online for Palmetto College and RN to BSN students. And remember, if you're working on the WPP, we're here to help. Thanks for attending this workshop on the WPP. Good luck, everyone.